Ramsey's not here. Oh man, it's just me. So I had a thought. The idea that somebody challenged me earlier this week, and somebody who's much smarter than I am, someone I consider to be brilliant. We were talking about the things that the skills, the techniques, the ideas that we teach to clients. And this person challenged me to bring more complexity, more complex ideas to my people. And and she asked me, "What keeps you from doing this?" And I wasn't sure I could put it into words, so I thought about it for a minute. And an example of this would be the behavioral assessment tool DISC. Right, you've got DISC, DISC, four big buckets that people typically fall into. Well, I teach that, and how do we use that in in day-to-day life when we're leading, coaching, communicating, and then I take that to the next level, which is the eight dimensions of leadership. So we can take the four dimensions of DISC, and we can subdivide it into the eight dimensions of leadership. So the this person is working with a 16 different style model where you've taken the four, the eight, and then you've subdivided it into now 16 different components. And I thought, this is really good stuff, but it's not something that fits the style in which I want to teach. And so I believe the people I teach quite capable of understanding it, grasping it intellectually, but I have a underlying goal when I'm doing training, workshops, coaching, things like that. One of my cardinal rules is learning is not taking place until behavior is changed. So no matter how good an idea it is that you share, if they don't do something different with it, they really didn't learn anything. So I believe strongly in teaching things that could be easily drawn on a napkin. You're in a conversation with somebody at their toolbox or at the break room table. You don't need a handout. You don't need a sophisticated diagram. You just grab a random piece of paper and you go, all right, here's the model. And then we could have a conversation about it. So it must be easily explained. It must be easily replicated. Anything else I teach, I want it to be easily utilized in a game situation. Right? I can intellectually understand a lot of things, but actually using them in a game situation. And by that I mean when I'm face to face with another person, I'm face to face with a customer, I'm face to face with a team member. Even more so, I'm face to face with a customer or team member who are upset. Right? And there's these communication techniques, all these cool things that we teach that I need to be able to access in a high stress environment. And the idea that if I add complexity, that I won't the added complexity won't add to the value, the utilization uptake of whatever it is that the tool can do. So it may be a better understanding, but I don't believe it will result in more implementation, more execution. And so I'm inspired by the story of, I believe it's pronounced Krav Maga. So Krav Maga is a martial art that was developed by the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF. And so the Israeli Defense Force wanted a martial art that they could teach to their soldiers, that they could use in a combat situation, a one-on-one close-up combat situation. And so before they developed this, they went out and studied all the existing forms of martial arts. Karate, taekwondo, jujitsu, right? There's all these martial arts. And what they discovered were that these martial arts, in their pure form, would not be effective in a battle situation. All of these martial arts, if I'm going to throw a kick in taekwondo or karate, there's all these fine motor skills that I have to do in order for the move to be effective, right? You've got to change your stance, you've got to pivot on the ball of your foot, you've got to lean. There's all these things that are going to happen in order for this to work. And what they figured out was that in high stress situations, everybody loses their fine motor skills. And so they created a distilled down version called Krav Maga. And in this version, right, it is simple strikes to large target areas of the opponent. Easily replicatable in a high stress situation, easily recalled in a high stress situation. And so the characteristics of Krav Maga are simplicity and instinct. The system focuses on simple, instinctive movements and natural body reflexes rather than, complex choreography. Practicality. The techniques are designed to be quickly learned and are constantly updated, based upon lessons learned in the real world. And the last part is adaptability. It can be used by different people, different depending on, the all ages, all physical abilities, things like that. Those are the same principles that I adhere to in training when I'm teaching somebody. So, uh, when I think about right, how can I put somebody in a position to best use the what we've talked about in a game situation? Those are the things that I take into account. Can we learn more sophisticated, more difficult stuff? Absolutely. I would not discourage anyone from taking any idea that I share or that Mark and I share and diving into it deeper, but knowing that the format in which we teach it is deliberate in the sense that we want you to be able to utilize it. Keep in mind that I know it is different from I can do it, and more importantly, I can do it in a game situation. So remember the adage, learning has not taken place until behavior has changed. Wish you all the best. And hopefully, next episode, it'll be Mark and I back together. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.